This is Into Healing, and I'm your host, Mira Adura. Hi, Riz.
Hi, Mira.
I feel I've known you for forever, probably the entire time you've been in and out of having cancer. 20 years or more.
24 years, 2 different kinds, a horrid lung disease that they think will get me first before the cancer does. Can you imagine cancer losing to another disease? I mean, I thought it was the end-all be-all of diseases. And once again, I was wrong.
So you were at the height of your career, probably the best copywriter in America ever.
Best copywriter ever.
Super humble.
Super humble.
When you got your first cancer diagnosis, how did that change your life?
I saw there was more to life than Bo knows. There was more to life than advertising. I still love advertising. But I think when you figure out there's more to life than advertising, it makes you able to create great advertising. Because your mind just goes. And you write stuff down, and hopefully the clients aren't that stupid not to buy it.
So they gave you 6 months to live, and you were a guinea pig.
No, they gave me about a year.
Oh, a year. Okay. And you were a guinea pig to an experimental drug.
Yes.
Walk us through that experience and how art came into your life.
Well, I had been told I had a deadly form of cancer. And they did say you might have 6 months to live, maybe a year. And about that time, I got a phone call from Brian Drucker, who's head of the Night Cancer Institute, saying, I hear we have to meet. And we met, and he put me on his then untitled wonder drug, Gleevec, that is a be-all, cure-all for my particular form of leukemia. And he combined it with interferon, and it worked wonders. Unfortunately, it probably destroyed my lungs at the same time, but that was a bet I'm willing to take.
You recovered from that first cancer, but then you got cancer again.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about that.
I was going back and forth to doctor's appointments, and Drucker said, he's still my lead oncologist. So Drucker had him check my PSA level, which measures prostate cancer, and it was through the roof. And it's now under control, but that almost got me because it was off the charts.
Okay, so you got leukemia 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? In 2010, you got cancer again.
Yes.
And you got cancer again 5 years after that. And then you got cancer 8 years after that.
Yes.
So walk us through how you felt every time you got cancer again and how your art practice kind of evolved over that time.
I felt like a real cancer show-off with all these cancers. It's not really a thing you want to show off.
So how did art enter your life?
Wonderfully. I don't think you can make great art if you're not disturbed. I saw somebody use my quote, art is here to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. I wrote that. So I love making art. I used it kind of like how I used Hitler in my art, as a way of getting back at a deadly disease that was out to kill me. Well, I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to laugh at you. Because Voltaire said, I have but one prayer to make to God, a simple one. Allow me to make my enemies look ridiculous. And Hitler and a deadly disease are my enemies. They're everybody's enemies. So let's band together and kick their asses. If I felt that I could laugh at evil, be it a Hitler or a deadly disease. I could make it through anything. And I have.
You sure have. I mean, 24 years later.
I cannot fathom me dying. I might be dead right now. This is heaven. I mean, I'm serious. I am serious. This might be it. I've certainly had dreams that it was, but maybe they weren't dreams.
So for me, you're kind of like the cat with 9 lives that like
90. I'm not a lazy 9 lives cat.
Tell us about how the art kind of has evolved and has now kind of taken off after all these years of doing it.
Well, my friend David Leventhal, a great artist, said, once you have a show that takes off, your back catalog will start selling. He was absolutely right. I can't keep the stuff in stock. And that's just truly, it just makes me happy. It's special. I'm embarking on this thing that drives Hallie crazy, my daughter, that I'm writing all these poorly written letters to museums and artists if they would show some of my work. And they're misspellings. And I use a typeface that I bought of an old typewriter. And I wrote letters with a return addressed envelope to me. Hey, I wrote like 12. If one works, I'm in like Flint. I wrote one to Jeff Koons.
That's amazing.
I wrote one to MoMA. I want my giant pickle hob full of German pickles, all 5 feet in diameter of it, spins on the roof of MoMA, glinting into the eye of Koons' giant puppy dog sculpture that's on the roof already. Take that, Jeff.
Tell me about your last shows.
My last shows have been my most successful shows. And man, I was never happier to hear somebody else, not named Jim Riswold, say your art is good.
So what were your shows about?
One show was about Putin invading Ukraine. One show was about culture wars, featuring cookie jars. And one show was about death masks. That goes up in January at Ulrich Museum in Kansas.
How has art been such a healing practice? How has it kept you alive?
Creation. Creation is God. Let's just say it that way. Creation is God. So I believe in God. It's a heal-all. It's just, you feel godlike. I mean, that's what Spinoza talked about when he talked about creation.
How has this practice of doing art, this practice of creation, given you urgency and purpose?
It's no urgency. The purpose is, I like doing things. Making things. You're a maker. You like making things.
Yeah.
What if nobody buys them? Well, that's okay. You're making things.
Yeah. That's really what matters. So who do you become after 25 years almost of having cancer?
I'm the same person I always was. Maybe a couple new blemishes, couple blemishes that have been surgically repaired. Some nice fingernail polish. I'm still me.
It's hard for people with a terminal diagnosis to be hopeful and find joy. And it seems that everything you've done in the art world has just brought you so much joy and laughter.
I recommend my book, Hitler Saved My Life. It really, it has turned people's lives around once they get past the title. My favorite philosophy professor said that that my art teaches its viewer how to deal with a monster, be it a dictator, a Hitler, or a deadly disease.
How does it feel to be facing death like any minute now?
Just like any other day.
You've been ready for a while, huh?
I don't want to go, but I'm content.
Do you feel you've said everything you wanted to say?
Hell no. You know me. I'm a loudmouth schnook.
So what are some things that are still left unsaid?
You have to come to that road in the crossroads to figure out what it is.
How do you feel the past 20-some years have impacted your kids?
Allie is a true empath. She moved up here to help take care of me. Jake does a lot too. Comes in from Minneapolis a lot. So they're extraordinary children. And I'm lucky I get to love them.
What do you want them to know after you're gone?
Life is good.
Thank you, Riz.
You're welcome, Mira.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye, everybody. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.